What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today. Very happy to be back. It's been a minute. I got so much to show you guys. I really got to start getting these videos out. I probably have the most patient subscribers ever. Thank you for dealing with it, man. Thank you. You read the title, the Epoch D1. Now, I've had this for quite a while now. I feel like it's ready for review. And I also feel like there's definitely a way to wick this thing. Like anything, really. I really feel like there's a technique that at least that's been working for me. And I really hope it's going to work for you. So we're going to go down. Like always, we're going to open this thing up. We're going to build it. We're going to wick it. We're going to throw it on the IPv3. I'm going to do a build in this today that works well on mech mods, box mods, as well as regulated, mods. So, an all-around decent build, I think, in my opinion. And I hope, and you might be surprised. I was surprised after all the builds I've thrown in this to what I end up really enjoying. I was really surprised. Let's do it, man. Here we go. Drop you. Bingo. Alright, man. We went with red today, and I'm kind of wondering if it's going to, help out as far as, you guys seeing this stuff. And I'm hoping it'll be a good backdrop. Good. Epoch D1, like always, great packaging here. And all this. Security code, model. All this stuff, man. All this stuff. Everybody's been stepping their game up as far as what I've been seeing on the market these days. Quite a bit, man. Quite a bit. So, let's open the package here. It just slides right out, just like this. Alright. And it's a little flap. Open up the flap, and you're going to be greeted with this. The ehpro user manual. This is just a layout, man. How to work it, and it's nice. How to clean it, how to adjust the airflow. It's nice. It's a nice write-up, man. Especially for somebody just getting into these. These can be so damn confusing. So confusing. So, this is good. This is really good. I'm going to set that off to the side. And here's the content. We have the Epoch D1 right here. Let's pull that out and move that off to the side. A bag of tricks. In the tricks, you have enough O-rings to go over this thing one more time. And 2 extra screws, which is great because these things are teeny. We're going to talk about that. Let me throw that off to the side. Hopefully we won't need any of those. Also comes with one of these, in case you didn't have one already. Alright. I'll throw that off to the side. It also comes with this. And we're going to get into that just a little bit later. Pull off out the foam, and there you go. Nice packaging. Ain't going nowhere, man. We'll set that all off to the side. Here it is. Here's the tank. As I spin it here, you're gonna notice it's a looker, man. And you can probably already notice right here what this one's all about. But like I said, we're gonna start from the top. Now, this is all one-piece Delrin wide bore drip tip. I'm gonna pull this off. It comes literally off, just like you'd press in a chuff or anything like that. It comes right off. So whether you want to use this one, which I tend to favor, I really like the feel, the draw of it. I just like it a lot, and I think it looks the treat on everything. I think it looks really good on everything. So I tend to stick with this one, but this one right here is for your own drip tips, man. You want to throw your own on there, bust it. It's great. Now, as far as the design on the inside of these drip tips, they're both the exact same. And what I mean is there's a channel, there's almost like a groove. on the inside. Hopefully you can see it is black. There we go. There's almost a, I guess we could call it just a slot in there, where the top right here sits in. They both have that. Now this is for adjusting your juice flow control. And what I like about this one, this particular thing, and we're gonna get, there's a lot to go over, so bear with me if I seem all over the place. So it adjusts the airflow, but it's also, the notch that this sits in is a lot bigger in here, so it's really easy to find. You just kind of eyeball it, boom, it's there. So you're not kind of like making sure it's got to be perfect, but there's also some slack before you make the tension on there, right? So before it even catches, now it's catching, okay? You always got to keep that in mind. You spin it, right there, it's catching, and then you can do your spinning. Definitely keep that in mind. That's a very important part of this tank. Slack, catch. You got to accommodate to that for sure, man. I don't even know if that's the word, accommodate. Let's set that up to the side. Always top to bottom. Next up, we are going to take apart the, I guess we could just call it the barrel glass section here. Just unscrews off. Set this off to the side. And we're going to completely disassemble this. You know, pretty straightforward as far as taking it apart. There's your epoch D1 engraving. Nice threads. Really, really nice threads. Nice engraving. O-rings everywhere on this, and I just cleaned it, so you're going to see a little water here and there. Threads are smooth. Couldn't be smoother. The glass just kind of slides right over. I'm going to pull this off. One of the downfalls of the epoch D1 to me is this O-ring. It can be a total mess. So it can pop off easy. Putting this on, it can push it right off. That's probably the first time in a long time that actually went on perfect. So whenever you're putting on this glass piece, just make sure when you put it on, you spin it and make sure that O-ring is nice and flush in the groove it's meant for. Let's pull this off because I want to show you. I already went over this top piece here. Isn't that great? I did the Riverwalk test, and that's where you dunk the atomizers in water in a mason jar and put the lid on it. Just water, regular water, and just let it sit there and see if it'll rust. The ehpro passed that test. So high quality, they're using high grade steel and quality parts and pieces, and not just, you know, this steel. They're using high quality screws as well because they're not rusting at all. It's great, and I'm really happy about that. These appear to be flame polished. The glass itself isn't the thickest I've ever seen, but it's definitely not thin. But it could break. So the design with this almost windowed barrel section here is a nice touch to almost kind of reinforce it just a little. But as far as the edges on this, there's no edges. Nothing's really sharp. There's just an edge to them, but they're not sharp. They're not going to cut you. Very well done. All one piece here. Let's pop this on. So you want to take your time here. Once you get it on, double check that O-ring and go all the way down. It sits nice and flush. Next up, you want to screw this right onto the top. As you can see, you know, it's great. And quick tip here, get this nice and snug, man. Nice and snug. Just like that. Nice and snug. Not over tighten, just really tight. I found that when taking the tank apart to clean, this can all start to come to pieces, and you don't want that. You don't want that at all. There's a look on the inside with the glass on. You know, as far as the fitment of everything, excellent, 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 except for that O-ring. Set that off the side. That O-ring, man. That O-ring. Next up, this chimney section. As you can see here, right, these flaps here, this is what's going to play the part when you look down in. You're going to be filling your juice to the side here of these slots. Let's pop this off. It also works pretty good for grip. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and screw this, and, you know, kind of K-front-ish. Decent bore. Very decent bore, if you ask me. Conical shape on the inside, definitely going to help with flavor. It seems to be pretty roomy on this tank, if you ask me, as far as building goes. 330 seconds, no problem. And that's kind of where I like to be in my tanks. Just for me, you know? Everybody's different. Yeah, nice wide bore. Well made. All from one piece, O-ring here. Very well made. Set that up to the side. And I'll put a link in the description where I got mine, guys. And the star of the show. Alright, the deck and the base section. Let's go ahead and start with this airflow control ring here. This just pops right out. Just like that. And as you can see here, you see that little Phillips right there? That's what's going to stop this. Find your groove on your AFC ring here. Right there. Right there. Little groove. And just put that right over the Phillips. Where are ya? There we go. Put it on. Give it a little screw both ways a little bit. Nice and snug. And it's a nice fit, if you ask me. Nice fit as far as the AFC ring goes. But what's nice about this AFC is when you turn it to shut it off, it only goes a certain distance, you know. It doesn't just sit there and spin relentlessly. It just, you turn it one way or the other. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it open here real quick. The deck. Now, looking at this deck, I'm just going to put it on its side and kind of spin it here. You know, reminds you of quite a few different atomizers. Quite a few. Very beefy posts for this style of tank. Definitely bigger than most, and I like that a lot. Eyelets are plenty generous for any kind of, you know, wire you want to use. But, you know, you got to remember this airflow in these things. You know, look at that airflow. It's not a goblin, right? Like, it's not a goblin, dude. So, you got to take into account for that. You know, 0.6 maybe is what I'm going to be shooting for. 0.5, 0.6-ish is what I like in this. And you're already noticing right now the offset airflow holes, aren't you? Kind of cool. Now, when you build it, I'm gonna grab a pointer, man. Now, when you build it, you usually put your leads in here. You skip this one and put it in here. Well, now you put it right here and right here, so your coil can sit right above that. Okay, and then you see those little wick pockets. That's what I call them, just little wick pockets. And you can put your cotton right in there. Okay. When you adjust this, you want to take your barrel, and you see that O-ring right there. You want to push it just past that, just a little bit. There you go. It caught. Now, adjusting this, it's going to be all the way down. Okay. Pretend we have a build in there and everything. It's going to be all the way down. You're going to fill it, and then you're going to put on your top cap, which is right here. Boom, just like that. And your glass section will be on here, pretend. What I did when I first got this is you can't really see too well inside of the tank as far as how high you've adjusted this up, right? So what I do is kind of went like this. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 quarter turns. And I felt like that was perfect as far as juice delivery goes. That's damn near flush with the bottom of the O-ring. So I really urge you to do that. Grab your tank when you get it. If you end up getting the Epoch, man, and you get it, just take a second, just put it on just like this, and go. I don't know why that AFC is being so troubling today. There we go. Put it on there, and just count. Just do little quarter turns. Just like that. And you know you're open. And you don't have to even look. You can just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Alright, I'm gonna pull that off. Bottom, we got copper, serial number, and designed by ehpro. Poking out ever so slightly as far as the pin goes. Not bad, but it's a shiny bugger, isn't it? Another problem I've been having with this is it's very slippery, taking apart the tank itself for cleaning. You really got to get in there. I don't feel like these are enough for a grip to get this off. Because this is smooth, I would have liked to see some kind of grip here. But another tip here is to really grab a hold of that at the bottom. Just these bottom AFC and deck, the bottom of the base portion. And then grab right on that metal ring right here. And then just give it until it comes off. Because I'd like to keep this all together. You know, snug it up once and then leave it. One more look at the deck. Yeah, eyelets are plenty big. I feel like you could stick anything in there. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead. This might be good. Might be a little big. Yeah, it's a little big. Let's try this one out. I'll get these open up because we're about to build it. You know, these screws are so small too. Always be careful. You don't want to lose these. What's nice though is they added a couple extra. That's always nice. The bag of tricks. It's just nice, man. There's the eyelets. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. And yeah, we're gonna talk about the wicking. Let's get it on a tenderfoot, man, and start building this thing. What do we got? We'll use this guy today. And we'll pull up the, you know what, man? Salt and pepper mode. Just like that. There we go. That looks pretty good. I think we're pretty focused. Let's do it, man. So, what am I going to use? I'm going to use regular Kanthal A1 28 gauge Kanthal. A1. No nichrome. Just regular old 28 gauge Kanthal. And we're going to wrap these around a 3/32 drill bit. This one's going to be fun, man. I've been looking forward to this video. I've really enjoyed this Addy. Super nice tank. 3/32. Grab a couple of those. There we go. Excellent. Kind of clean off my micro screwdrivers here. And we're going to do micro coils, 7 wraps. And I'll show you after I wrap them here. Nice and tight. 2. Just like that. You know, really grab that. You really want to pull down on these leads. You want them really wrapping around. You know, these little micro screwdrivers or drill bit, whatever you're wrapping around. You really want your coils hugging whatever that is. And this is what I'm going for. If it'll focus, maybe. Probably not. I'll sit right there. You guys get the idea, right? I bet you do, man. Do 7 again. Not happy with that. I'm going to rewrap. Let's see. 7. That one is ratty. Yeah, really ratty. Wow. I might redo. Yep. Yeah, I don't like it. I just don't. So I'm going to redo it, man. Too ratty for me. Drop that. Let's try that again, man. There we go. I found that when building your coils, especially with these smaller gauges, you really want to start out with a pretty solid foundation. Meaning, you know, you want them as tight, you know, just as tight as you can get them, dude. Don't ever try and be perfect, because you're not going to be. You can't, dude, right? But you want a solid foundation. At least, you know, get as tight, the wraps as tight as you can. And nice good leads. Everything's fairly straight, you know. That's really what you're looking for. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put right here. And then I'm not going to skip another one and go into that one. I'm going to go right into that one. Right in the side. And they're both going to be designated, which is great. It kind of takes the issues of clipping that back lead out. So you want to gauge it here. You really want to gauge it. I think right there should be pretty good. Because you want the coil inside on the deck, but not touching the barrel. So there is going to be a little space there. Hook it up. It's good. Alright, that's what we're looking at. And I'm just going to kind of push it forward. Something like that. And of course, we're far from done. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and clip these leads right now. Just like that. So that's kind of what we're looking at. It's over, but there is going to be a little space there. You know, there's going to be a little space from that post, which is good. Let's do the other one, man. Again, same thing. 1, 2. And I think that's the idea behind this tank, was to literally make the deck just like this, because by offsetting them, you don't have to worry about clipping that back lead, really. You can always get it flush. And people are, you know, you got to think, you know, a lot of us are, you know, getting better at building. And when we see something like this, we're kind of like, well, I don't know, you know, but you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of people just getting into this still. You know, and this is really going to help them. This is, I think it's a nice idea. Really nice idea. And honestly, I haven't had any issues really as far as building goes. One issue is you can't really center the coil. You do have the problem of where you don't center the coil, you have more cotton on this side versus this side. There's definitely a way to wick this thing. And I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do here is, before I measure it, what in the world? I'm going to straighten these coils. This one, I'm just moving that. Over. I don't know, and I'm kind of looking at them to make sure the coils themselves are pretty level. And from here they look pretty level. No leads are touching the lifted up airflow style airflow hole here or here. You don't want the coils touching that, or a lead touching the deck or anything like that. You just want them elevated and suspended in air, not touching anything. I'm pretty happy with that. Like, I feel like we can work from that. Let me go off camera just a second, because this one, there we go. Sometimes you got to bring it right up to your chest, you know. I don't know what is up with this thing. There we go. Wow. 1 second here. I have a feeling. Put a little more tightening down on that. Yeah, I might have broke the lead there. Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice and secure there. No glitch in the camera. I'll go ahead and spin this for you. You know, nice and even height. You know, they're probably about a mil up off the airflow there. Let's measure it, man. And we are saying 0.65. Not bad. I'm happy with that, man. I'm really happy with that. About what I was looking for. About 0.6, 0.5-ish. At the high 0.5-ish, 0.6-ish. I'm really happy with that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just leave salt and pepper mode there just for a second. Because I'm going to go ahead and put it on, put on the IPv3 and we'll fire it up. And I'm going to have some ceramic tweezers on me. That nice and snug. Got some ceramic tweezers here. Yeah, that might just be in the way a little bit. There we go. So I'm just going to check my wattage here. I'm going to start low. I'm going to start, you know, thin wire. I just like to play it. Oh my gosh, there we go. About 10 watts. You know, just start low because it tends to you know, you can just pop your coil super easy. You know, you don't want to give it like 30 if you can help it. If you're using a Mac, definitely pulse it. And I'm just gonna sit here and get some glow on them just like that. And I'm gonna let it, and then I'm just gonna stop. Now I'm just gonna let it cool down just for a second, and then I can bump up the wattage here. 30 is about where I like it. It's the point where I'm gonna fire it. The heat that you put on it and then you let it cool down, what that does is it puts a little more strength, you know, in your coil for this process. I'm gonna fire and I'm gonna pinch. I want these stiff, man. I want these pretty micro coil-ish, you know, nice and tight. A little strum. It's pretty good. Pretty good. About 30 watts is where I like it. There we go. And I'm really happy with that. That's good. That one's got a little thing on it. Yeah, that one's got a little jig going. Yep. Good. Good. Very happy with that. And I'm almost going to come in here. I feel like there might be a loose screw, but you know what? I believe in that. I'm going to believe in that. Let's throw in a tender for the wicking process so you guys can get a good look at this. Now, what I've been using as far as wicking goes is some Muji cotton. It's just a Japanese cotton, man. You know, Kogendo, whatever you got. That's what I've been using. And what I do is I take the ends, like there's this hard almost sheet on the outside on both sides. I peel that off on both sides, and then I'm left with this really soft stuff. Right? got pinky here. Cut off enough, you know, that, you know, will fit pretty. You want it nice and snug in there, not too tight, not too loose, and then also I'm gonna put a little angle on one of the ends, just like that, both of them. In a tank, you know, snug is the ticket. Snug is the ticket, man. Yeah. Go ahead and just kind of roll it up. With Japanese cotton, this is pretty easy, you know. I like to give it a good twist, like as you can see on camera, hopefully there. Nice little point. I'm gonna put it in on this side because I can see, and then I'll turn it around and show you. I'm going to pull it tight, just like that. Just like that. That's exactly what I want. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that on the other side. I'm just kind of rolling it like a spliff, right? Yeah, we've all been there. Come on. And another thing is too is, do you see how the coil is? You don't want to put it in from this way and then pull through. I mean, you can, but go from the open side like this, right? And that's why I'm doing it on this side. It's just a little easier for me to see, because at the end, you know, like, I will be using this. There we go. And it's snug. It's not too tight. It's not too loose. It's snug. And I'm really happy with that. Really happy with that. It's fluffy. Okay. Now, where do we cut it? We're going to cut it right flush. Boom. One cut on each side. No haircutting today, guys. Wow. So we're left with this. Now the trick here is what I like to do, and I'm gonna get rid of some of these tools. What I like to do here is I like to take your smallest micro screwdriver, and we have those you know, those pockets. Remember those? We were looking at them earlier. Don't take this cotton and stuff it down in there. Definitely don't do that. What you want to do is tuck it like maybe a billow. Come in just like this. And you want to start from the bottom of the cotton. And what I mean by the cotton, by the bottom is, you know, you kind of have this width of it. I'm going to start working on the very bottom of that. And I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to tuck it under. Push it under. That's all I'm doing. And simultaneously, as you are doing this, you are getting a little bit of cotton down into those channels. It just naturally falls down in. And that's all you want in there. It's very important that you do not take this screwdriver and start packing cotton down in there. Just, you know, brush it, love it. Just care for it, man. You know, the thing is with tanks is this belt is going to be completely covered with pieces and juice, and it's got to last you while you're out and about, man. You got one shot at this, or else you're going to have to tear it all apart. And I'm not trying to freak you out. What I'm saying is, take your time, man. You know? As you can see here, I'm going to get the focus. As you can see here, see how that is? Of course you can. There we go. See? It's down in that little wick pocket, right? But I didn't stuff it down there. I just let, from tucking underneath itself, like you would a dripper maybe, or like I said, a bill is a good example. It's going to naturally fall down in those pockets for you, and that's all you need in there. Okay? back. Okay, let's go ahead and work on the other side. Same with this side. Start from the bottom. Fold it under. I'm just folding it under. You know, you also got to keep in mind, there we go. See, some kind of fell down in there, just barely. That's all I want, man. Any more than that, I would pull it out. But I'm constantly lifting up on the cotton and then just kind of pushing it back down in. Trick here is you want the cotton completely on the inside of the deck. Remember, this is going to be sitting over it and spinning back and forth. You're going to be spinning this. Your cotton gets caught on those threads in there, and it'll pull it and jerk it around. You're going to get crazy flooding issues. Yeah. So we're going to wick it like we are. We're going to put juice on it, and then we're going to shape it one more time before we put the chimney on. That's it. Once you do it once, and literally you're just kind of pushing it back down in there. You know, you want a good healthy amount in there. Oops, I had a shot. Once you do it once, it's no problem. After the first time you do this, you're like, oh, okay. You know, no problem. But I was trying to wick it using the wick channels, and I realized right away stuffing the cotton down in those channels is a bad idea. It's almost like ehpro's idea was, in designing this, you could literally just fold it under and you'd be fine. You know what I mean? There it is. See how it's pretty much all within the deck? For the most part. And we're not done yet. I'm going to spin this for you. Yeah, it looks like a little furry chia pet. Cool, man. Too cool. Too cool. Let's get some juice on it. Got some Apple Jacks here. A little DIY juice in mine. No big deal. I'm going to put it on the mod after I clean out the 510. I got notice a little juice in my 510 connection on my PV3. Not a good thing. There we go. Pull this off. Put it on here because we're going to put juice on it and we're going to fire it. Bon Jovi? Beautiful moment for it right now. Okay. So you got your juice here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some on here. Put a little on top and fire it. Just pulse. And it'll pull the juice right into. That's plenty. That's all you need, man. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to form it. And I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to take the long end of my screwdriver here, and I'm just going to slightly press. I'm rounding this off. Remember, we want it on the inside of the deck at all times. We don't want to risk this cotton getting caught into those threads. We don't want this cotton jerked around. That's great, except for maybe a little bit right there. That's good. That's it. Same on this one. Focus you here. Notice I'm using the long end of the micro screwdriver here. Always minding the coil in any wicking process. Mind that coil. You got it going evenly. I'm really happy with that. Here's one example. Here's one example. See what I mean? Cool, man. Do it again. I'm just going to take it and round it off. You know, that little bit of juice really allows you to mold this stuff. It's almost like clay, man. It's kind of fun. You know, you don't want to push this too far in. Just, you want it pretty much just on the inside of the deck. You don't want to make, like, cookies, sandwich cookies, homemade, you don't want to put the filling all the way to the edge because it'll squirt out the side. You just want it to, like, just to the edge. Think of it like that. You just want the cotton just barely off the edge, where it's not gonna, where it has no chance of snagging those threads. And one more time. There it is. There it is, man. That's all I'm looking for. Those little flurries off of there. I don't know what that's about. Sorry, I'm off camera here, guys. I'm just making, I got little flurries. And I want them on the inside. There we go. Done. That's it. A little more juice for fun. And now goes on. We can take this off, as a matter of fact, because we're going to assemble it. So, chimney section next. Want to go over? You should have no resistance whatsoever. Do you notice that? None. Put it just past the O-ring. I like to use these. You know, and I can sit here and spin and not, and I know, because we took the time to really mold those wicks to where they need to go, that we're not going to snag, we're not going to catch. I'm not worried about this build right now. Close it all the way off. All the way off. Alright? Next up, your glass section. Just make sure your engraving is going towards the top. Thread that on. There we go. Okay, and now this is the section right here where we fill it with juice. Alright, close off your airflow. Just like that. Completely closed off. Now fill it with juice. We have some Apple Jacks here, and I'm just going to fill it up. Super easy to fill. You know, filling it with glass, you know. Let me double check this, and I just kind of look to the top, make sure it fills all the way up here. Filling up, leave just a hair of room. Perfect. Just till I can see it. When you look down in there, you can kind of see it get to one side, and then as you're filling it on one side, you can see it just barely pop on this side. That's enough. So this is the point where you choose this one or the other one, and like I said, I really like this one. They both fit great though. Just like that. Now, open up your airflow. Done. Okay, and we're all closed, and that's it, man. The Epoch D1. Let's take it back up, man. Enough of all this crazy madness. Move you back here, man. So we got it. Okay, we're good. So we got it. We're done. Let's look at the tank. I really enjoy the look of it. It's kind of sexy, isn't it? So I'm going to thread it onto the mod here, and we're going to talk about this part of the device. I know it's a lot of information. But these are my findings, man. That's why I use this stuff so long, is I find this stuff out. So what you want to do after you very first fill it is I'm going to take it. Remember, you got to make up, remember the slack we were talking about earlier? Make up the slack. Now, we're going to break the seal, and we're going to close it back off. We broke the seal, juice went up in, we closed it back off. Now we vape it. And it's still firing off. My IPv3 goes from, keeps going from like 0.6 up to like freaking 2 ohms. And it's not what it is. Alright, put that back on. Now, after you break the seal, let's see. There we go. You break the seal, juice flies up in there, right? And it damn near gurgles on you, right? And it does sometimes gurgle. But so you break it, close it back off, vape it out. Now that you got it out, make up for the, remember this, 3, 4, 5. I know I'm wide open. And from here on out, you won't get any leaking. So, is it fiddly? Yeah, you could say that, dude. Having to kind of deal with the whole break the seal, close it back up, but in all reality, it's not that bad, dude. It's not that bad. Small price to pay for such an awesome tank. Holds plenty of juice. However, when rocking this sucker out, you will be filling it often. But with that top fill, it's nothing, man. Same thing. When you're going to refill it, you close down the chimney, pop the top, refill it, decide, do I want to use my own drip tip this time, dude? You know? Okay, boom, pop this on, or you just pop this one. I really just gravitate. I love this one. I don't know why. I just love the feel of it. And it's a little bit bigger than the actual bore in the chimney section, man. So you close off the airflow, fill it, put the lid on, break the seal, close it off immediately, vape out the gurgliness. There might be a little gurgle there. After you get the gurgle, after the gurgle is gone, remember your counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarter turns like I just did. You're set, man. Barely put any juice on these coils at all, man. Now, is it airy? No. To me, it's not airy. It's not dark horse. It's got a soft, nice restriction to it, and it's really geared towards flavor here. You know what I mean? If you want flavor action out of a tank, the T1, dude, this thing was like, it was like $27 or something like that. And I'll put a link in the description. Vapor Trends, I think is who it was. It doesn't slouch on the vapor, and you might think, well, 0.6. What about you know, I think it's perfect for this tank, man. Check it out. Let's throw it on a mech. Tighten here. All right. I'll show you what I mean. You can go from either or, which is nice. Same result. I got it on my PB3 at 30 watts. I won't get a dry hit. It wicks extremely well using this way. It's very simple, right? It really is, and I hope I didn't confuse you and freak you out. Don't be freaked out. It's you know, this is your cotton coming out of the coil. Okay, you can see that. So I take it from the bottom of the cotton and I just tuck it up underneath like this. Okay, and as you do that tucking, a couple pieces will sporadically kind of go down into that pocket for you. You don't, whatever you do, don't force it down into those those pockets. If you don't force it down in and just kind of let just kind of a couple frillies fall down in there, you're gonna be set, dude. It wicks it beautifully, despite the curvature that you put in the cotton. It wicks beautifully, man. Mech regulated, doesn't matter. This build, I feel like, is very satisfaction. A lot of satisfaction from this build as far as like flavor, warmth, vapor. It's great, man. I don't have too much more to say about this thing. So that's it, man. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining me. It's been too long, right? Daps. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, tjvapingreviews@aol.com, or simply comment down below, man. That'll do it for me. Let's end this. Classic form, dude. Yeah. See you guys. Blessings.